Welcome back to Kitchen 143. I am your host, Michelle Aventajado, and today we are doing something a little bit different. We are visiting with a friend of mine here in her kitchen, her lovely home. She has opened it up to us so that she can share a quick and easy dish made from pantry staples and stuff she has in the fridge or the freezer as we talk about all things food, love, and of course, different ways that we are all inspired to give back after the pandemic. As always, you can watch us on the Rappler Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter channels, and you can also catch us on Momma and Manila on Facebook too. Okay, so without further ado, I'm really excited to welcome Jet Acuzar to Kitchen 143. Actually, you're welcoming us into your home.
Hi.
Hi,
Michelle.
Thank
you for having me as well.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm super excited.
So we get to spend time together in the kitchen.
Yes, I feel like we've talked about doing this for a while now, so it's finally happening.
Yes, we have. So Jet and I met over tea. How social.
I know.
We met
Very
having
posh.
tea at another event, and we were seated with another friend, Ram, and we talked about food, connected immediately.
Yes.
Zero waste, fresh ingredients, like all the things that I feel like we jive in our kitchen philosophy.
No, absolutely. I remember when I was prepping, when I was doing the mise for today's recipe, which is shrimp linguine a la pasta queen. I remember you said don't keep the shrimp heads yet because want to sort of share that I don't throw them out. And I really don't. Like, I keep them, as you can see.
Yes.
Because those are going to go into a tempura batter later for dinner.
And you'll just deep fry them.
I'll deep fry them with some zucchini as well. So I have zucchini chips with shrimp heads.
Yeah.
So it's also nice, like color-wise, you get a little bit of the orange. Of the shrimp and then the greens. So
right.
It's kind of pretty.
And it's zero waste.
Yeah, and I was telling you earlier, the zero waste aspect of the way I cook wasn't even something that's environmentally with the environment in mind. It wasn't environmental sustainability. It was economic.
Well, listen, we all were hit hard with the last 3 years, and if we weren't very mindful of wastage or using every single ingredient, that actually the pandemic made us very mindful of that.
No, for sure. And also, like, it's also that idea of you weren't sure, even if you could buy more shrimp, you're not sure if you're able
availability.
It's that supply chain, right?
Right.
It's just like, so that sort of food insecurity makes you more creative. Mm-hmm. So it's really, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. Is
there
that
you go. That
Is that what they say? Yeah. So that's sort of part of how I approach cooking. And I keep telling you this whenever we see each other. I always see what's in the fridge and then come up with a menu after.
Right.
Versus thinking of a menu and then buying
all the ingredients as well. So in our house, shrimp heads will either go into like a soup, or my kids have actually asked Nino several times. He made this dish one time also because we were like, we're not going to waste the skin or the shell or the heads. And he made this incredible pasta sauce using the heads and the shells and like mashing it down. And the kids have asked for it all the time ever since, but it's such a process that Nino is like, okay, fine, I'll do it today when he has time. But so I think zero waste is really important.
Yeah. And it's like, it's great because it's like, valuing every piece.
Every peso too.
Every peso. Yeah. So for me, it's really like, it's really just that, like, economic sustainability in mind.
Right. So you guys know we're making a dish with shrimp today.
Yeah. And again, it's locally sourced. It's from my hometown in Bataan. I tend to like highlighting products from where we sort of are. How do you say that? Like
local.
Local. Like
local and regional.
Yeah, like, and also like where my family's from in the province, because I still
very proud of where you're from.
Yeah, and like really, I feel like at heart I'm a country girl. I'm a provinciana.
Okay.
I think not a beach kind of girl. Too self-conscious for that, but definitely really like the countryside. Really like that sort of slow and rolling pace.
Okay.
I like to go for walks.
Nice. Outdoors.
Yeah, like a nice stroll, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's so therapeutic. So,
There's definitely
Yeah.
a desire, I think, to cut to nature.
yeah, absolutely. And it's nice because while this is an Italian recipe, everything is locally sourced.
Okay. So you mentioned that you were Provinciana.
Yes.
So I would compare Provinciana to like a country girl. Like I grew up in the burbs. I consider myself a country
Yeah.
girl too. Tell us more about where you're from.
So Bataan is sort of central Luzon, which is the main island, or sorry, not the main, sorry, the largest island in the Philippines, which is comprised of 3 islands. So Bataan is very rural, but I feel like it's developing. There's more and more things happening there, but primarily it's still very rural, very much like, it's not really agricultural.
Okay.
It's like industrial rural. There are some farms there that are scattered,
Okay.
but maybe not on the same level as maybe in the south of the Philippines, like besides Luzon, where there's lots of rice paddies. But Bataan is more like a bit of livestock, a lot of fishing farms,
Right, so that's where the
this is
shrimp.
where that's from. Fish farms, I think they're what they're
These
called.
are really big shrimp too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a little trick with the shrimp. I noticed this. So the last time I was traveling to a Southeast Asian country, I noticed like the shrimp in Singapore, in Chinese restaurants, really bouncy. Do you know what I mean when I say that it's sort of bouncy, right? And so I started researching because how come I can't get my shrimp at home
To be
that bouncy? And sometimes they're alive when I cook them.
Yeah.
So it's not a freshness thing. It must be something that they add on. So I started researching, and apparently it's baking soda.
Oh.
So you put the shrimp in a baking soda bath.
Okay, with shells on?
I tend to take the shells off, but
Okay.
you can keep them on depending on how you wish to use the shrimp. And it's, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 pounds of shrimp to 2 tablespoons of baking soda with water and ice. And then you leave it in the fridge for 12 hours to
overnight.
basically, yeah. You can't leave it on for too long because it then starts to cook the shrimp.
Okay.
But then the next day you use it, you have to rinse it because it gets a little bit slimy,
Grainy,
and a bit funny. But then it becomes really bouncy.
Oh, interesting. So 1
Yeah.
kilo of shrimp to 2 tablespoons of baking soda with an ice bath.
Yeah.
Throw it in the
Gets-
fridge.
Then you feel like you're
We're
eating
gonna try that.
yeah,
We're gonna try
Chinese
that.
restaurant shrimp. You know what I
Awesome.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the ingredients.
Okay, so
What we're making.
we're making shrimp linguine with shrimp from Bataan. And we're doing a mix of ingredients from local delis.
Okay.
Not exactly local, but the delis they came from were. But I feel like the fresh things are, with the exception of garlic, which for some reason is always from Taiwan these days.
Interesting.
Do you notice that? Like
Yeah.
whenever you look at garlic, it always says garlic Taiwan. Like, what is that?
Interesting.
But
well, there was that whole onion thing that we
Yeah.
had to kind of navigate our way through.
yeah,
That made onions like
I'm okay with the onions. I feel like that can never happen to garlic.
right.
The world would end.
Yeah. Okay. Agree.
Like, take
It's
away
part
all the
of
onions.
Trinity, though.
Yeah.
It is part of the Trinity. Like garlic, onion, tomato for
Yeah.
me is
And, like-
that's love. That's kitchen love, guys.
Absolutely. And
So we have
so
garlic.
garlic from Taiwan. Very exotic. Taiwan.
Imported. It's imported.
Imported, so it's extra fancy. But the parsley is from, I want to say it's from, what is the name of that place? Dizons, I think. Is it Dizons?
Dizons is a local farm.
yeah,
Everybody
local farm,
knows Dizons. You
Dizons.
can get lots of different fruits and vegetables and herbs.
Yeah, and they're brilliant. And this is the tomatoes are from Dizons as well.
Do you prefer cherry or plum usually? For this recipe, obviously cherry looks cuter.
Yeah, but I mean, I really don't mind. It's really what you have.
Right.
It just adds that tartness, right? The
Right.
sort of sour component that becomes sweet when you cook it. I wanted to show, and this is not to disparage Dizons because this has been in my fridge for a while, but it's not really looking its best. It's kind of brown.
But
in
that's
some
only because she's
areas.
had it in the fridge. I
Yeah.
challenged her not to buy
Yeah.
anything for the episode.
And
right?
we did it. Chili flakes from Santis, again, local. like fancy.
But you have two kinds of salt.
Two kinds of salt.
Right. So two kinds of special salt for
flaky.
finishing and
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah, so that's for the sauce, and this is for the pasta water.
Because you always have to salt your pasta water. You guys know that.
And somebody was one of these chefs that I'm friends with mentioned that like rock salt is actually so much saltier.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so we did like a bit of a salt tasting and like to sort of compare. And it's true. So you don't really want to use rock salt for cooking. Or if you do, you have to use
Much less.
yeah, like for Western recipes, like I always half the content.
Ah, interesting. So
Yeah.
it's twice as potent.
Yeah, because you can always add salt, but
Right.
once it's in there, you
That's
can't
it.
take it out.
You're done.
Right? So
All right, so what are we going to do? Jet obviously got the memo that I love pasta because we're having pasta today. So what do we want to start with?
we're gonna start with the pasta and the salt.
Okay.
Now we've had the water on a rolling boil for a while now.
Okay.
Sorry.
We have the salt. This is your... Do you want to put all of this in?
Chuck it all in.
Okay.
I pre-measured that. That's like, I feel like that's like a tablespoon and a half of salt, and we're just gonna use half.
Okay.
I think half, or maybe more than half. Is that enough water? Might not be.
I think that looks good.
That looks good.
That's
That's fine,
enough.
right?
Yeah.
And then spread it out like that. And just like try to get it in there.
There we go.
I'm gonna wait for it to soften and then stick it in after.
So in your house growing up,
Yeah.
what was a go-to dish that you would love, or that you would help prepare, or what's something as a child that you looked forward to? So growing up was in Bataan, but then you also mentioned you moved at some point in your teenage years.
I feel like it was half and half because I never really. I grew up in Manila, in Quezon City, but we always went home to Bataan on the weekends.
Okay.
So it always felt like we lived in two places. And with Bataan, I really remember a lot of seafood.
Yes.
Because it's by the coast. But in Manila, it's really strange. Like my mom, I feel like my happiest food memories are Christmas food. She used to make like this really nice mashed potato.
So potatoes over rice?
Yeah, it's strange
Okay.
now because it felt like such a treat, right?
Yeah.
Like this mashed potato that I really love. But
Okay, I'm bringing over olive oil, and I think you need the garlic also.
yes.
What else do you need here?
And the parsley.
Okay, the chopped parsley.
Sorry, the pasta is getting a little angry.
Okay.
Just gonna leave it open then.
Yeah, we can leave it open. I can stir that while you start the pasta.
Okay, perfect.
The sauce.
So
So
this is
Christmas was a great memory because you'd have potatoes.
yeah, we'd have potatoes and like roast beef, which she was so good at. I'll wait for Nina to
Can we lower this one? We can
Yeah.
lower it because it's
very much.
yeah, that's good. And the
I
wine.
haven't sliced yet.
Okay, do you want me to slice that, or you want to slice that?
I don't mind. Do you want to slice or later maybe?
Okay.
I'll bring this in.
So this
It's
is
actually
garnish.
really like this bowl is by Rick Rit, a Thai artist.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's actually 3D printed ceramic. Yeah.
It looks like it was hand formed.
Yeah, so they made a mold out of something that was like they scanned a handmade bowl and then they 3D printed it. Super cool, right?
Such pretty accessories to bring to the table.
No, it matters. I feel like you eat with your eyes.
Yes. Well,
Right.
your eyes, your nose.
Yeah.
And even experiencing, I guess, all the senses, the
surroundings, yeah.
surroundings, right? So we have the olive oil, the pan is hot.
Yeah.
EVOO.
I use regular olive oil.
Okay.
Because a friend who has a chemistry background said that extra virgin olive oil, you shouldn't really use it because of the chemical compositions of it. It turns toxic after a certain level of heat. Yeah.
So use the EVOO for salads, not to heat.
Yeah, for finishing or even like
Yeah.
just so I just use like regular olive oil, which is actually it's way cheaper.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, economic sustainability. So because the pan is so hot, I'm gonna go straight and put the garlic.
There you go. We love lots of garlic.
Just like a whole head of garlic. And
So the Italians, when the recipe calls for a head of garlic, we put 2.
I can imagine. And then parsley goes in as well.
Right.
I might turn the heat off.
Okay.
Because it's just like
Too
cooking
hot.
too
Yeah,
fast.
that's a little too
know?
fast. You don't want to burn the garlic.
Yeah, because it becomes bitter.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move it there. Yeah, it's browning too fast.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're doing the garlic, and then in goes the cherry tomatoes.
I'll take that from you.
Oh, thank you. We've got that. I'm gonna bring it all back to heat, and then some white wine, some Pinot Grigio.
Okay. So a Pinot, we want it dry.
Yeah,
Super easy. So all that has
Super
gone in
easy.
thus far is the olive oil, garlic, chopped parsley, fresh, of course. So if you didn't have fresh, would you use dried for this?
yeah, you can use dried as well. It's got a different taste profile.
Yeah, much less.
Yeah,
I know
not
when
as
you
strong.
use dried, you cut that in half because dried is also very strong. And then the cherry tomatoes went in also with a little bit, it looked like about a cup of white wine.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
around a cup of white wine, and then we do like the flaky salt.
Yes, the
Couple
yummy
of
salt.
pinches, yeah.
Is there a salt you prefer? French one?
I like Malden.
Yes.
Where is that from? Scotland?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Is it Scottish or is it French?
Cornish? I think it's from- So even with the tomatoes, I use the way I cut them in different ways.
Okay.
Because I feel like I like the added, and I left some whole because I like the added texture of
Yes.
you never know what tomato you're gonna get in your bite.
So you like, it's not just about, of course, the flavor, it's also about the texture.
Yeah, the texture, and also like
That's
how
why you were talking about the bouncy shrimp.
yeah, and like how it's like not so that it doesn't feel each bite doesn't feel repetitive. Because we're not a
Right.
fast food chain here.
No, of course not. So, we came out of this pandemic 3 years and we are all on I feel like we are on the other side of it. I'm curious how your kitchen may have changed or evolved, how you may have changed or evolved in the process, and some of the things that you did to just kind of keep sanity.
Yeah.
There you go. That's very Italian.
Really?
Yeah, throwing the salt over the shoulder.
Honey, it's good luck. Yeah,
it's good luck.
So I spilled a bit.
Throw the salt.
Are you Italian?
Yes,
I
I'm
never
half.
thought me. Oh, you're half Italian.
I'm half Italian.
Dad or mom?
My dad.
Ah.
So, okay, so the wine is cooking off now. The tomatoes are starting to blister or starting to come together now. What's next?
Okay, so we put the shrimp in. I'm just gonna give the tomatoes like 30 more seconds.
Okay.
I feel.
Yeah, I could use a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you could smell it, of course, if you were gonna smell the garlic, the wine, for me, this is a happy place. Is your kitchen a happy place?
Yes, I feel like it's probably the cleanest part of my house.
Well, it should be. You're preparing food here.
But I mean, for to be the most used part, it's like so clean. Like the rest of my house is a mess. Like it's such a tip. Like, okay,
A little bit more olive oil going in.
more.
Do the kids join you in the kitchen?
My younger one, Diego, he loves to cook and loves to eat.
So Diego and
Emilio.
Emilia.
Yeah, Emilio, who's 8, and Diego, who's 6. Diego loves to eat, and he's not very picky. But Emilio eats he eats like I don't know, he eats like it's 1982.
What does that mean?
Like everything is processed. Like,
Well, hopefully,
like-
I think as they get older, that's when they tend to explore a little bit more.
yeah, but funnily enough, my younger one can really really. I'm gonna add. Sorry, I'm just gonna
Pasta
add
water.
pasta water because it's
As the pasta queen says, this is tears of the
the gods.
tears of the gods.
I'm just gonna add a bit of pasta water because I just need I feel
A
like
little bit more. The tomatoes look good though.
they look good now. And
Yeah.
I think the wine is cooked off. I
Yes.
feel like it has.
The wine
So
is
we
cooked
can
off.
Do the shrimp now.
Yeah, so the important part here is, of course, to make sure the wine is cooked off and not to burn your garlic, right?
We're gonna space the shrimp out.
Don't crowd that pan.
Yeah, don't crowd that pan.
Don't crowd the pan.
And then there. Do you like spice?
Yeah, sure, a little
I'm
bit.
gonna put a little heat. Yeah, this should have really gone on when we did the garlic and parsley, but I'm okay adding it.
Yeah,
Adding a tiny bit.
I think that's
now.
okay too.
There. Like that's enough.
So my kids never ate whole tomatoes or like cherry tomatoes like this until they were much older.
Really?
Yeah, so like they could have tomato sauce and meatballs and sausage, and it was as long as the tomatoes were blended. But if it was, I think it was a texture thing for them also. So my daughter still doesn't really care. Like she won't pick up a tomato and have a tomato salad.
Really? I had
But
one last night, like tomato
love
avocado.
tomato salad.
Pedro Farms has the best tomatoes. Have you tried their?
No, but I want to visit them.
So
I want to
good.
visit Pedro Farm.
Yeah, you should. I mean,
I want Peter. We want to come and visit.
is he a friend of yours?
He's
I'm
a friend
such a
of
fan.
yours. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Pedro
So
Farms.
Jet wants to come with us.
Yeah, I do actually. Because they have the best. Like
They have very good.
also the
You know
prices
who-
are good.
You know who else has also is Future Fresh.
Yes.
Really good green.
Yes, they have great green.
Yes.
Really good whiskey.
Peter's
Wow.
known for his whiskey. Okay, so this is boiling. The shrimps are starting to turn a little bit pink, orange, right? Question.
turn
So we talked about earlier potatoes, that your mashed potatoes, that was like a
Yeah, I know
childhood
it's such a
memory,
weird
right?
thing to like,
but
right?
it's not though. I mean, so how about the kids? Do they prefer pasta and potatoes over rice?
So yes, they do, and sandwiches, which my husband never understands because there's nobody more Pinoy than my husband, so he doesn't
He
understand.
likes rice.
He likes rice.
Okay.
Like meals have to be piping hot.
Yes. Does he need soup also on the table? It's like my mom's
feel like
very,
I've-
she needs soup,
I've
she needs
weaned
rice,
him
she
off
needs
that
a viand.
because I'm just not capable of cooking all those
That's
dishes.
So do you cook all the meals then?
For now,
right.
I'm understaffed,
Yeah.
so I have to do it all myself.
That's
which I
fine.
don't mind.
Yeah, no, especially when it comes, I mean, when you have a beautiful kitchen like this to work in, it's very easy. Everything is exactly, did you design where everything was?
I did. I
Yeah.
did with so my kitchen supplier is a company called Liked.
Uh-huh.
I think they're German. They're
Okay.
in the Minotti showroom.
Yes.
In this like that same area. So
We're
Jean
ready for
Ong-
pasta?
Yeah. So Jean Ong, who is, do you want to help me put
Put
the
it in?
pasta in?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna
So we're just taking the pasta from the pot,
Yeah.
and we want it all to go in.
Yep.
Okay. Super simple, and the beauty in this obviously is that the pasta water adds a little bit more. It's that starchy, salty flavor as well.
It really gets the sauce to come together as a sauce, right?
Agree.
Because before that, it's just like oil.
So you were saying, this is a la pasta queen.
Love her.
Who else do you love?
Love her.
Who else? We love you, pasta queen.
I also love Nigella Lawson.
Me too.
She's probably my favorite.
She's
yeah.
like, I actually had the opportunity to meet her
Really?
for like a contadina event.
She's my dream best friend.
Yeah, when they first brought contadina into the country. Contadina is a brand I grew up with a long time, like always in the pantry as well. It's a pantry
What is it?
staple.
What kind of brand is it?
Well, they have pasta, they have
Sauces.
tomatoes and sauces. At home in the States, it would be like contadina in a can. So this looks like it's almost coming together here.
Yeah, and then
Ready? Should I get bowls? Where did I see those bowls?
so I'm gonna chop some
Lemon.
the lemon now,
Okay.
and then
I can do that while you get the bowls.
yeah, sure. Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab the bowls now. And then where are the bowls? They're there.
So you just want them in little triangles like this?
Yes, please.
All?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we have our bowls, our lemon.
And I want to show you this is by a local. Do you know? Oh, you know her. You know Nikki Menchaca.
I might know her by face.
You'll know.
her. What's the brand?
So this
these
is
are
Manila
beautiful.
style.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
yes.
Yes, you know Nikki.
I know
Yeah.
Nikki. Yes.
So this is amazing. Like we did a little collab.
So pretty. Oh, this is part. Do you design these?
Well, she did, but I asked her to design something sort of in this vein.
So pretty.
Because I like the idea of, these are actually Christmas napkins, but I wanted something you could use all year round.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Again, economic sustainability.
Of course. And I love all of the things that she comes up with. I mean, if you like setting pretty tables and tablescapes, Manila Style is an account.
Yeah, on Instagram.
That I love following.
Yeah.
So pretty. Okay, so we're getting ready to plate.
We are.
We're going to bring this over here.
We are.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to add a little more pasta water. I feel like
Okay, we can do that. We started talking about the pandemic, and you had like a little pandemic baby where you started writing and like bringing your kitchen philosophy and your philosophy on life and sharing it with others, right? So more than, here, I'll move this.
I've got this. I've got to twist it right here.
More than just, those in your inner circle, right? So you put this information out for others, more of like, I think when I take a look at the content that you share, it's very inspirational, very like welcoming, focused on the home, where you also, you're mindful. It's kind of like a mindful practice.
And you know what? I feel like it's so difficult to claim things because I feel like I'm not, even if I try to practice things like mindfulness, I'm not always consistent.
Well,
so I always worry
human.
about I always worry about taking ownership of sort of these ideas that have become mainstream, because I'm worried that like if I claim it and then I don't do it all the time, but then I think that's fine, right?
No, I think you're being a little too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I really am. I'm the worst.
So we are just the same. Like we're like this. I think that adopting this, mindfulness, it's not that you're claiming that you own it. I mean, it's something that you're
there you go.
mindful of, and I think that that's okay.
That's okay, right?
Yeah, we're not claiming it, and that's okay. I think if you're conscious of it and put that out there also, it's like the energy that you put out, the energy.
No, I agree.
Right? So tell us about the forwoman.com, right?
So it's a website really that I started ages ago. And, not ages ago, like during the lockdown, basically. It's for you. Let me grab one as well.
This one.
And honestly, when I started, it was just really like, I just wanted to talk about how, this idea of do it yourself.
Right.
In the Philippines, I feel like we can do it with help.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? Like in the US, like labor is quite expensive. So maybe getting a painter to paint your walls, not really a thing. You can do it when you can do it yourself. But then in the Philippines, we're sort of able to employ people by asking them to take on little odd jobs like painting your wall and, painting your wall or adding lights and that sort of thing.
Of course, and it's okay to ask for help.
And it's okay to ask for help, right? So
at the women's event we just attended together, the one of the things that Marga said was find your tribe and ask for help. Because we don't need to do everything on our own.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean...
Do you want your parsley?
No, I'm okay, I think.
Okay.
Now.
Wait, guys, I want to show you what this looks like. So pretty. And it smells delicious in here. I can't wait to take a bite. Are we going to ask Ali to come down and take a bite?
Yeah. I'm gonna grab him.
Ali!
I'm gonna grab him. So I'm sure by now he's showered and gelled up. Gosh, he left. I really thought he wanted...
snuck out. He snuck out.
I could have sworn he wanted to be in this video.
Although he said it quite a few times, he did
I wasn't
not.
sure how genuine that was.
Okay, are we going to take a bite?
Okay. Oh, we have... Yeah.
Oh, I wanted... You know what? We should have taken a photo also, but we will.
Okay.
Pasta's done well. Not well done. It's done well, meaning it's not overcooked. Garlic, yummy. Tomato, freshness. No, for me, I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna take another bite.
It's the rock salt. It's so salty.
I think, the rock salt that you throw in the pasta water is actually a lot of times when it's a simple EVO or of olive oil based sauce is what gives it a lot of the flavor too. So, thank you, Pasta Queen. This is a fabulous recipe.
And it's funny, she never puts any measurements. You have to eyeball it.
Which
Is that how Italians cook?
Yum. Yes. They may even leave an ingredient out if it's your mother-in-law.
Really? Why?
Yeah,
Why?
it's like called the mother-in-law recipe. Like
Why?
she'll say, "Oh, this is my son's favorite dish," and this is my son's favorite dish, and I'll teach you how to make it. But she'll leave one ingredient out, so her son will always look and say, "It doesn't taste like my mom's."
It's not as good.
Good. So that's the mother-in-law recipe. But I'm not like that. If I share a recipe with you,
Same.
I share it. I'm not stingy like that.
Yeah, same. And I also think I guess it's a little different when you're selling the food, right?
Oh, well, that's different.
When you're like,
well, let's talk about that too, because
yes.
I'm ready for my wine.
Okay.
But before, because we do have to wrap up soon. Tell me about how during the pandemic also, we talked about making different things you could sell from home, being mindful, making use of what you have and maybe sharing that with others, beyond what a mother-in-law recipe would do. Because if we're going to sell something that's different, then it's a business. Yeah. Right? So tell us these little things that you have going on and how you want to bring that to other women's kitchens, because it is Women's Month, right? So cheers to all the women who came before us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I think it started as a joke. We had a friend come in from, I want to say he came in from London. And I think remember this conversation, me, my sister, and her husband, and the friend from London. And we were talking about how these very influential women of a certain age in Manila always sell dips. It's like a rite of passage, like a tita thing.
Oh my gosh.
Titas.
That means I did it too.
Yeah. So it started
I
as a
did
joke,
it in the
right?
pandemic.
During the pandemic. This was right before the pandemic started. I think a couple of weeks before, because my sister got married, and we're having dinner or lunch or whatever, and it was like, it's a big thing, because I had made cheese pimiento dip the night before with whatever I had in the fridge. And they were like, the guy couldn't understand what kind of cheese this was.
Right.
Because it's such a Filipino-specific thing. It's so weird.
Is it really just, cheese pimento is just the Pinoy thing?
Isn't it like a Filipino dip? I've never seen it anywhere else. Maybe pepper jack cheese is similar, but it's not cheese.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it anywhere else either, so it's a Pinoy thing.
Yeah, so anyway, this friend trying to explain to him that these random dips, and I think I had a few dips out, and he's like, what are all these things? And, it's a very Filipino thing to eat with dips and sell dip. So we were sort of explaining to him that
the shrimp is bouncy.
Yeah, so I kept joking around that once I'm a certain age, I will sell my selling dips. And I think I turned 34 and I felt time is high.
So 34 is the magic
and
number.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing
I'm a little late, but it's okay.
Yeah, but I feel like it's sort of a rite of passage once and it wasn't just me, there were tons of people selling dip, and the thing is it became a thing. Every week or every month there was a dip you needed to post on Instagram. So I feel like and the container is 90%.
The container well, yeah, of course, it's gotta be beautiful.
Yeah.
So for us, Nino and I actually started selling dips and stuff too in our little condo group. He was doing chicken liver pate, I was doing borsan, we even got I don't know how many kilos of tomatoes when there was this, this is where we talk about sourcing local farms, and we got a message, and they were selling the tomatoes at 13 or 15 pesos a kilo.
That's insane.
So I bought 10 kilos, and then I opened it up to the passerby
Yeah.
group in our condo, and we ended up getting like 30 kilos of tomatoes, and I was like measuring them out for everyone else to buy and share the tomato love. And we figured out how to make tomato jam.
Yes.
So we sold like in a little trio, pate, tomato jam, and borsan. Very small little jars, not pretty.
Do you guys still make it?
Tabasco.
Tabasco tomato. Yes.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It was a little smoky. Had that little hint of heat, but not even really, because it would be more like the paprika that you would taste. So it was the sweetness, and it goes perfect with the borsan, and of course with the pate. So we did it too. So we passed the rite of passage.
Yeah, it's really a thing. Like, I feel like I'm one of the younger ones in my generation.
Who did it?
I turned tita. Like, it's like turning into vampire. Like, I turned tita sooner than most people, but my husband's 50.
Okay.
So I feel like
I didn't realize.
Yeah, we have a big age gap.
The same age as us. Okay.
So we have an age gap between us. So I was always interested in things that I wanted to be advanced.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's okay.
So I keep
you could be advanced and look like this.
God, I keep telling my friends that like, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, but I keep saying that like everybody will become a tita one day.
Yeah,
I just got there faster.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to monetize that.
Okay, so talking about monetize, you also were saying that you feel like there's an opportunity, because it is Women's Month, and homemakers tend to be the women, right? That there are some things that you felt like you could inspire others as well, or maybe like work together with different women to see how they could bring things from their home out to others as well, and maybe make it maybe have an opportunity to earn a little bit as well.
So this also happened during the lockdowns. Tatler reached out, and I think to me, Jess Sangan and like one or two other girls, basically people who just love homemaking and always post things about their house and the things they cook, their day-to-day life basically.
Right.
And it turned out to be a really good article in the sense that not the stuff that was written about me, but it mentioned that there's a certain percentage of women in the Philippines who are stay-at-home carers, who are completely unpaid.
Right. But we do the bulk. But
do the bulk of the work, and that allows men
to go out and focus on their career.
Yeah, to go out and to go out into the world.
That's such an important part to talk about during Women's Month.
Yeah, like there's loads of people who don't, and it doesn't really get recognized because culturally it's what's expected of us as women. And one of the things I've been wanting to do, which I discussed with you earlier today, was to potentially because I was also reading about microfinancing, and it was something I've always been really interested in. I remember I did a conference overseas at Harvard, and they talked about like somebody from the Grameen Bank at the time was like giving a talk, and somebody from the World Bank was discussing the potential of microfinancing.
Okay, so we were talking about microfinancing and the ability to, put things together in certain ways for.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as I wish I was able to have my own microfinancing fund, realistically, I feel like there's a certain amount each month that I can set aside as a sort of way of giving back. Like, there's nothing quite like an infusion of cash when you have a good idea.
Right.
Like, when you have an idea, and I feel that in my own way, I've had this idea that I want to build a business, but obviously that requires more cash than any microfinancing can provide. But I keep wishing that somebody would fund my idea.
Okay.
And I think that like what I've taken away from pining over this idea that I've had for the past 3 years for myself is that, why don't I be that person that I've been praying for someone else?
On a smaller scale.
Much smaller scale. It's like, it's that sort of idea of how, we spend a lot on our homes, cleaning it up or whatever. And how can you make the home profitable? You know,
That's a great question. I want to have you back where we can have that discussion. Where we can have that discussion. Maybe we can walk and talk and visit farms and do different things together, because I know that there are lots of things we can do together just by looking at how we can get in the kitchen together as well. Okay, so there is, now guys, if you wanted to see more about what Jet puts together, you can obviously check out forwoman.com. You can also follow her on Instagram at forwoman. You know, she shares on social media, as well as, you know, she's definitely out there if you wanted to ask any questions on keeping home, keeping joy in the kitchen, parenting. Like I feel like there's so many things that you put out there that are goodness, maybe not parenting so much, but like the home, right?
Definitely.
That she can share with you. Part of what I added with this new format is this kind of like rapid fire that's really fun. And I don't want you to overthink any of the questions.
Okay.
Are you game for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to challenge you that while we're plating, we'll put one more finished product in front, because I ate all of mine. I inhaled it. It was so good. And then while you're plating, I will shoot off some questions for you to answer, hopefully without too much thought. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Who is the biggest kitchen influence in your life?
Nigella Lawson.
We talked about her earlier.
Love her.
What was your favorite food as a kid?
Yogurt covered bananas.
Do you still love them?
I do. I have like 2 massive bags in my pantry.
So she still loves them. Okay, favorite cuisine as an adult?
Chinese, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. If it wasn't so fattening. And then Japanese after.
Okay. Whoops. Okay. So favorite cuisine as an adult was Chinese?
Peking duck is the best.
Ah, so good. Okay. Well, what color is your kitchen? We know what color your kitchen is, so this is obviously for someone when we're not in their kitchen. Favorite pastime when not cooking?
Oh God, I'm so basic. I love watching streaming things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Netflix, Disney Plus,
exactly.
HBO Go.
Yeah, HBO Go.
What's your comfort food?
My comfort food. It's super weird. It's North Park lemon chicken, yang chow fried rice, and like they have this like bean curd mushroom thing.
Oh, yum.
With like loads of chili oil. Oh, so good.
So you like it spicy?
I like it spicy.
Okay, that's one of my questions later.
Yeah.
What's your signature dish? Like, what do the kids look for? What does Ali look for that you make?
Oh, we make, like, we love to do homemade yakiniku. Like, so Wagyu Philippines, for me, makes, like, supplies the best beef. It's the best beef and best price.
Great.
As well.
Music in the kitchen, yes or no?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What's playing?
What's playing in the kitchen? Gosh, what is playing in the kitchen? Stevie Wonder.
Little soul.
Little Aretha Franklin.
There you go. Little soul, little R&B.
Yeah.
2 foods that go together but that don't go together.
Oh. I mean, for me, really, mangga and bagoong. Obviously,
That's
like,
my example.
yeah, it shouldn't go together, but it does. Even
But it's
mango.
so good.
Ali made like mango with chili salt. Super good.
That's like Thai, right?
Yeah, it's
The
so
chili
good.
salt, maybe
Yeah.
even a dip. Any kitchen or dining accessory that you collect? Like I see you have very pretty bowls.
I collect everything, and I
So,
love
like, even
pots
these
and
napkins
pans. Yeah,
that she designed, collabed, right?
yeah. I mean, well, Nikki designed these.
Okay.
I honestly, I like anything. Yeah,
Pretty.
anything pretty,
Anything pretty.
basically. Yeah.
Okay. Your go-to lazy dinner?
I go to lazy dinner. Honestly, I think it'll have to be pasta.
Yes.
It's the easiest.
Super
right?
fast.
Yeah.
You're on the
Sorry,
sofa
fast.
watching a movie. What's on your snack board?
Popcorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's one ingredient that you cannot do without? I think it's
Garlic.
the garlic.
Garlic, lots of it. Goes with everything. Potatoes, pasta.
And we talked about your favorite.
Rice.
So we talked about a favorite memory with your mom, but a favorite food memory as a child. Like We talked about mashed potatoes in the kitchen, something different than
Gosh,
Christmas.
I really love going to the supermarket, Unimart, and like being able to like open things before we pay for them. So naughty.
It feels
it
feels like you're breaking
like
the rules.
honestly, yeah, like there's no better satisfaction than like yanking that Yakult cover out
And drinking it in the
before
aisle.
you paid for it.
Okay.
And Yan Yan as well. I feel like those
Okay.
are like, yeah.
That's a fun
Junk,
childhood memory. My
basically,
kids
yeah.
love both of those. Savory or sweet?
Savory.
Milk or dark chocolate?
Milk. Yeah.
Spicy
White.
or sour?
Spicy.
Nilaga or sinigang?
Sinigang.
Tapa or tocino?
Tapa.
Okay, so that's it for us today. Thank you for having me in your kitchen. This was so fun. The pasta dish was delicious. We can share this recipe without a missing ingredient, right?
Yes.
So you can look for this recipe in my column, and Jet will share it with all of the ingredients intact. And of course, I hope we can chat again soon.
Absolutely. I had so much fun. Thank you for having me, Michelle. And
Thank you.
I really had a great time.
So, all right, guys, this is Michelle Aventajado from Kitchen 143 a la Jet. And, keep cooking, keep sharing, and keep safe.